today I'm going to discuss what childhood sexual abuse is. Now, this can be quite confronting, so that's a warning. And sit here and listen to it. I'm going to read it to you just so I can get it quite accurate. Now, fondling, groping, masturbation of a child, exposure to sexually explicit material or behavior, so porn or someone playing with themselves, photography of an explicit manner of the child, oral sex performed by the abuser to the child or forcefully the child to the abuser, anal or vaginal penetration of the child, so yes, rape, any sexual acts performed to or on a child, any acts completed by a child or minor to an adult or older being. When a dependent, developmental, immature child and adolescent are involved in sexual activities which they do not fully comprehend, are unable to give informed consent, and that violate the social taboos and community standards. And here's a refined definition: the use of child for sexual gratification by an adult or significantly older child or adolescent. Now, the reason why last week I asked you not to use words, specific words, was so you don't dilute them. Now, those words describe what being molested as a child is. Now, I need you to understand the severity of those. All the way up until rape, you have fondling, you have masturbation, you have penetrating, you have all of these horrible, heinous crimes that can be performed by an adult, an adolescent that is of older age to the child. And those are the things that happen to a child. Yes, it is real. And people don't want to believe it, don't believe it can happen, don't even understand the severity of it. I don't think the people who even knew me and when I came out, what it actually was. Now, I openly came out that I was molested for 7 years by an uncle. Started at the age of 7. And not only did I see this person once, twice, 3 times a week, up to 5 times a week. And it would happen every week without a fucking doubt. Now, it could be as simple as being groomed to a situation where you were over and over and over again put in a position where you did not want to be there and then taken advantage of. Now, people would think, oh, so you must have had a really bad upbringing. You must have had no knowledge, no information. I could never let that happen to my child. No power, no... Guys, it can happen to fucking anyone. I was blessed to have so much information, so much knowledge given to me. I'll never forget at the age of 5, I was sitting there at the head of the dinner table with my parents. This is, mind you, 2 years before this all happened. And they sat down with me and explained to me what it was. Now, they used quite visual terms, and as a 5-year-old, enough for me to understand. So yes, I knew being touched in those areas was wrong. Now, I'm glad I had those tools because they gave me an opportunity when I was old enough and powerful enough to speak up, the power to do that, the knowledge to do that, the ability to understand that someone knew that it existed and that was not something I had never heard of. So at 17, I came out and I spoke up, and I was blessed. My parents knew exactly how to support me. But if you don't speak about it, if you don't know exactly what it is, and then a child is never to know what it is, when it happens, they have no fucking clue. Now you'd ask, okay, so if I knew what it is, why didn't I speak up? Mate, I'm 7. I have no fucking idea how to speak up. I have no idea as I grow older. I've been groomed for years and years how to overpower a male 4 times my size, my age, my strength. Who's going to believe me? Even though I know my parents would believe me, I don't know how to do that. And then why at an age later on, people till they're on death's bed might not even come out. Now understand that when the abuse is happening, I don't remember how it felt. I remember how everything was. Standing there, the colors of the room, the colors of the button on my pajamas. Every element I remember But my brain protected me. My body protected me. It dissociated me. It literally put me in la la land. Everything happened as it did. I became a robot. Yes, I participated. I stood there, did whatever I was told. And then it's all done. Everything comes back. Memory, thoughts, my emotion, my feeling comes back, and life goes back to normal. Barely remember it until I was ready to remember it. Years of it. Now, if we don't understand what it is, we can't explain it to someone. If you don't know what happens, you can't teach it to someone. Now, yes, being a victim, I can explain it to someone, but you do not need to be a victim to explain it. And I urge you to please have conversations with people. If you have children, you need to have this discussion with them. You need to explain to them what it is. You need to explain them how to understand their body, use the right terminology of their body parts. Because you can be groomed to know the wrong names and terms. You can be groomed to make sure it's a secret. You can be groomed to just be powerless. And if you don't know what it is, go and learn. Now, I've explained to you quite in depth what it is, but just to give you a little bit more insight, a young child standing there, powerless, a grown individual touching them inappropriately, sexually, getting off on it. From private situations to even in group scenarios, which I will go through later on. It starts with, the tickle and the cuddle, and then the hand slides and under the shirt and touches the breast or down the pants, and people don't notice. No one's looking for it. Now, I don't want to scare you to say you have to now look so vigilantly at every aspect of your life, but yes, you do. Yeah, you fucking do. You need to listen. You need to see. And this is why I asked in my last video that you don't use these words lightly, because even if you don't have children, someone around you does. Someone might have been a victim to this. And then you're using these words to dilute and kind of almost discredit what it actually is. It is not a topic to be joked about. It is something quite severe, actually. And if you understand what it is, then you'll have more power to help someone understand how to see it, how to stop it, how to not get stuck in that scenario. And once you understand what it is, we can explain and discuss how it happens. And that's what my next video will be about, is how it actually happens. And I really want to go into depth that it can happen to anyone.